Before we get started, make sure you subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon as well so you can stay updated with our latest videos. Also, make sure to watch till the end so you don't miss anything. Without further ado, let's go ahead and get started.
Since the first Iron Man, introducing new characters in movies post-credits scenes has been a Marvel trademark. And that does happen in Eternals, which features two brand new MCU characters, Pip the Troll, Patton Oswalt, and Eros. Sit through the entire credits and you'll get a second scene featuring Kit Harington's Dane Whitman. Marvel fans know Dane as Black Knight, a hero who has spent time as a member of teams like the Avengers and Heroes for Hire. In Eternals, Dane seems like an ordinary guy, although just before the credits, he mentions his family's complicated history to Cersei. You get a little taste of it in this post-credits scene, when he opens an ornate case that contains a sword wrapped in bandages. For some reason, Dane is very hesitant to touch this thing, although as he inches closer and closer to its blade, the viewer can see energy radiating off of it. Just as he's about to pick it up, a voice from off-camera calls out to him, saying, "Sure you're ready for that, Mr. Whitman." At that moment, Eternals cuts to black and a title card reading Eternals will return. The identity of whoever was warning Dane is never shown. And he speaks so briefly, it's hard to know who it is for sure. More than anything else in the main body of Eternals, this enigmatic speaker is what audiences are talking about when they come out of the film. Who was warning Dane? And why didn't Marvel just show their face, as they have so many times before in other post-credits teasers? We don't know, but we have a few educated guesses as to the answers to both of those questions. Below, we've listed the 5 most likely candidates to be revealed as Dane Whitman's unseen advisor. Number 1. Nick Fury. An informal survey of guests at the Eternals press screening had most people thinking that was Samuel L. Jackson talking to Black Knight at the end of the movie. Why? 'Cause that's what Sam Jackson does. He shows up in the credits and sets up the next film. If they wanted Nick Fury in the movie, though, Marvel could have just had him show up on camera. Jackson is currently filming his first Marvel TV series, Secret Invasion, and they could have easily had him film something on the set. Plus, the last time we saw Nick Fury in the MCU, he was out in deep space with the Skrulls. So he seems like an obvious answer that's also a long shot. Number 2. Jeffrey Wright. Another popular guest for the mystery voice is Jeffrey Wright, who is the Marvel Cinematic Universe's watcher, who's been observing all the doings on the animated What If television series. Of course, Wright's role on What If is almost entirely as an unseen narrator, so if it was his voice, everyone probably would have recognized it immediately. The fact that Uatu has only been shown as an animated character and not in live action could at least explain why he was only heard and not seen. Number 3. Kang. Loki introduced the Marvel Cinematic Universe's next big supervillain, Kang, played by Jonathan Majors. Or rather, it introduced a version of Kang, known as He Who Remains. The super evil version of Kang wasn't on the show and hasn't been seen yet, which would explain why no one recognized Major's voice and why Marvel didn't want to show him on screen yet out of fear of spoiling the big reveal of his new look. Those are all reasons why it could be Kang. The big reason why it might not be, Kang almost surely has bigger fish to fry than Dane Whitman and his cursed sword. Why would he care about that thing? Number 3. Blade. Of all the guesses we've heard so far, this is the one that makes the most sense. After all, Dane Whitman is dealing with a sword. Who else would care about a blade than Blade? Plus, Mahershala Ali's film is still a few years off and his character's final look may not even be finished yet, which would explain why he could only be heard and not shown. To top it off, Dane Whitman's cursed weapon, the Ebony Blade, has been featured in at least one Marvel Comics storyline involving Blade and vampires. While that's far from proof, that's a lot of circumstantial evidence in Blade's favor. So who do you think is the mystery voice in Eternals? Let us know below on the comment section and please subscribe.